Hello my little bumblebees, it's Ethony. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about ways that you can practice witchcraft on a dime. Now, witchcraft can be extremely expensive if you want all of the top shelf items, or you want to rush out and get absolutely everything that you see right at the beginning. And believe me, I know the desire to want to do that. I've been practicing the craft for a very long time, and I have allowed myself to gather a lot of my tools over that 20+ year period. Yes, I'm old. Whereas I also remember when I was just beginning out in witchcraft and I wanted absolutely everything. So I'm going to show you some ways that you can get some really cool things, but on a cheaper sort of budget way, so that you can stretch your dollar and make it go even further. So the Book of Shadows is one of the top things on a witch's list. It's something that most of us have, or a grimoire, or a mirror book, or a journal. All names for pretty much the same thing. I have a video about how to start your Book of Shadows. Make sure you go check that out. This was given to me by my father and my stepmother, and I was very lucky to have this as a gift. If you can't afford a nice leather hand-bound Book of Shadows, I've got you. Go to the dollar store and get a binder. Not only can you customize this any way you like, you can design, paint it, but you can also fill it. This is a little pouch, all from the dollar store. Dividers, so you could have this for herbs, this one for moon magic, divider all the way through, get your little dividers on so you can move things around really quickly. And I know that a lot of people have that like paralysis of going, what if I screw up in a journal that's hand bound? Well, in a divider, you can just move the pages. So it really does kind of move that fear of getting started out of the way. And all up, this costs $3 with all of those inserts. So that's next to nothing. You can use acrylics or gouache and paint this, or just put contact paper and a bunch of pretty pictures, and you've got yourself a Book of Shadows. The other suggestion for a Book of Shadows is to have a digital Book of Shadows. It pretty much costs you nothing. You can have a Google Drive, a Dropbox, whatever it is, and that means that you can organize files quickly, you can store everything somewhere, and you can build on your electronic Book of Shadows. I actually have files. I have physical files, I have digital files, I have physical books. I have got lots of different ways to keep all of my information, and they all work for me. So don't feel as though you need a nice, ancient, tea-stained grimoire to be a real witch. You can keep yours however you like, and even on your phone is completely valid. The second witchcraft on a dime tip is a altar box. So a lot of people can't have an altar space in their living area, and this is a really perfect way for pretty cheap, this is again from a dollar store, to go and create an altar box. So this is a nice big box. You could use a shoe box too. It doesn't need to be a wooden box, just use a shoe box. You can paint it, you can go out and go for a walk in nature and put twigs and do sea glass or stones and glue them on here and really make it your own. And then you can start to store all of your treasures inside. You could do a painting of the goddess and god that you're working with, or the wheel of the year. There are plenty of inspiration that you can find. You can make little statues and put them in there. But an altar box is a perfect way for you to keep your sacred space somewhere protected and small, and you can even travel with it as well. Candles are another essential for witchcraft. Magic with inscribing candles, burning petitions, all sorts of stuff is pretty amazing. Plus, everyone looks fantastic by candlelight. Now, they can be very expensive, and one of the reasons for expensive candles is the higher quality the wax, the more expensive the candle is going to be, and is often worth the extra money because you're not putting all that crap into the air or breathing it in. But I do understand that some people simply can't afford high quality candles. So here are some little hacks. Dollar store wish candles. Now these are called emergency light candles for some reason, but you get 6 in a pack at your dollar store, and white candles can be used for absolutely anything. You can also find wish candles as well in different magic shops, and they tend to be about 50 cents each. So they're nice and cheap. Another thing you can use is birthday candles. Why not? If you've got them, use them. The next thing you can do to zhuzh up your prayer candles is to buy plain or colored prayer candles. These were both from the dollar store, and I printed off images of, this is Gaia and Athena from my Modern Goddesses, and I just hollow taped them on to the front. And now the $40 prayer candle that you have in your shop, you can do for $1 nothing, basically. So these are images obviously that I own because it's my artwork, but you can use a magazine. If you've got lovely witchcraft magazines or nature magazines, you can draw something, you can print something off and make your own prayer candles. Another massive part of witchcraft is herbs, spices, and resins. And resins can be extremely expensive, especially things like frankincense and myrrh and benzoin. But a lot of herbs and spices you can find in your own kitchen cabinet. You can use kitchen salt for all the salt magic in your repertoire. Basil, rosemary, oregano, it's oregano in Australia, by the way, for all you peoples. Cinnamon, all that sort of stuff is all herbs and spices you can use in your own magic, even pepper. So use what you have around your house. Another really good tip for witchcraft on a dime is to find a local resource for the plant life in your area. Like dandelions, they tend to be everywhere and they can be used for magic. So find what is in your area, but if you are going to harvest things, do it with respect. For example, a lot of plants are endangered. In Australia, you are unable to actually cut wildflowers. You can get fined and you can't do it because they are endangered, but you can go out and buy some seeds and plant them yourself. So be respectful of the plant, be respectful of the land you're on and the peoples who inhabited the land before you got there, and also just be aware of the law and don't trespass for herbs and spices. It's not worth it. My next little tip for witchcraft on a dime is statues. Now, I love having images of deity all over my apartment, and I've collected them over a number of years, but you can make your own with air dry clay that you can get from Target, Kmart, Walmart, or a dollar store. And it really helps you infuse that magic into creating your own statues. You're putting you into the creation. So it actually helps give it a lot of extra energy. If you're not into modeling, then try painting your own deities as well. Crack out your paints or drawing, and remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about the intention and the actual process of creating itself. My next witchcraft on a dime tip is all about crystals, our lovely shiny things that we all love. And believe me, I have got enough crystals to sink a ship. Well, maybe not a ship, but like a small boat. Or maybe not a boat, but like a boat in a bathtub. Definitely a boat in a bathtub. I've got a lot of crystals. And you can spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on minerals. You go, if you see any photos from like the Tuscan gem show, you can buy like bathtubs of amethyst. That's expensive. But my tip for crystals is using tumbled stones. They're an entry-level stone and it's usually cheaper and more readily available. And remember that clear quartz can be used for absolutely anything as it magnifies all energy. Another tip is to use stones that you find while you are out. Now, do not remove stones from sacred sites because some people are lucky enough to live around them. But if you're out walking in the forest and you see a pretty shiny thing, take it home with you. I've got tons of stones that I found on beaches and things like that as a part of my beautiful magical stones. You can even find local prospecting guides in different areas of the world. Now, I know there's some here for BC, and you can find some of the areas that you can actually publicly go and prospect for your own stones. So that's a nice little field trip excuse for all of you witches out there to go out and discover nature. My final witchcraft on a dime tip is about your magical tools. One thing about your tools is they are meant to be practical, and a lot of covens will train you to build your repertoire of tools. So a part of your first year may be to create a wand or an athame, or to make a besom or a broom. These are all things that you would usually do throughout your journey becoming a fully trained witch. You have got a lot of stuff in your home, I bet you, that could be used as a magical tool. Dedicate one knife to being your bowl line, which is a herb tool, or an athame. You can find a broom and make a broom with twigs out in nature and a stick. There are lots of ways that you can actually make your own tools without it having to cost a lot of money. Something else that you can do is find wood chips like this at a dollar store, or stones at a dollar store, or those little crystal beads at a dollar store, and make them into runes so you can have your own divination set, or you can use these as altar tiles as well. You can even paint your own oracle deck if that's something that you want to have, and it'll also reflect and be completely unique to you and your practice. With absolutely everything that comes with being a witch, having your own tools and growing with them is something that I really enjoy doing throughout my journey. Allow it to take time, and sometimes you will get gifted tools and you won't expect where they come from. But the big part of it is that your tools and your witchcraft, your way, and just because someone has got the most amazing Instagram feed and has all the pretty things doesn't make them more or less of a witch than you. Do it the way that it feels comfortable and doesn't break the bank. And remember that you're the most powerful tool you have. Have you made any of your own witchcraft tools? I would love to hear from you. Let me know. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and you can even hit the notification bell so that you know when I put up new content, and I'll see you next time.